Module 27, Number of Sessions. Will I only need one session? The answer to this is more than likely no. It's very rare indeed that any patient only has one session unless they have a very small amount of loss or a limited amount of donor supply. But then, however, you possibly aren't even a viable hair transplant candidate anyway, unfortunately. Even if your hair loss is absolutely stable and doesn't progress any further, the chances are your first session will still be the foundation for your potential second session to top up, refine, add density, close the angles, or work further back, for instance, regardless of the technique used. Hair is like money. You will always want more. You will always want to make it better. We all do. Top docs will endeavour to achieve the appropriate number of grafts possible without jeopardising you in order to create as much coverage and density as possible in just one session wherever warranted, whilst maintaining your donor area and further supplies integrity. The initial session will come in so slowly and gradually that you will become so used to it that it becomes the normal, and you will not necessarily notice the change bang on 3 months. The realization takes time, so you need to wait and be patient. It is only until you compare your pre-op pics that you actually realize how far you've come and have a glimpse at what your situation actually was. You will scrutinize your results constantly, inspecting it every chance you get, and feel that you will always want more hair, regardless of the time scale involved. Even at month 5, 6, 7, patients are already planning their second session, but my advice is wait and allow the first session to actually reach its maximum potential. Growth doesn't stop for many months. It can take up to 18 months to reach the maximum potential from your first hair transplant. Therefore, you need to wait it out and let the time scale evolve in order to enable you to make an accurate decision before deciding on session 2. Many doctors have commented on timescales for growth, and established posters as well have all been through the hair transplant process on more than one occasion, and we all agree that you need to assess your hair transplant at least at the year mark in terms of enabling to reach your full growth. A year mark is the minimum. My advice is wait a minimum of 18 months before you start pulling the trigger on hair transplant 2. Allow hair transplant 1 to grow in and see what the situation is before you start planning another session. You, the hair transplant recipient, will not see the growth just occur. It takes months for the realization to kick in. It is important to take pictures at monthly intervals to clearly see the progression. That way you can see where you were and where you're at now, and you may not actually be as keen as you think to have another session. It's important you familiarize yourself with where you once were. It is very important that guys realize that hair transplants are a commitment long term, and you must realize that you will always want to refine your hair and wish it were thicker, fuller and denser. This is the nature of hair, so be aware of it. Hair greed. We are all guilty of wanting more hair, so please be aware of hair greed.